Ladies and gents, Earthlings, Comicsgate. Oh no, this is about Walmart, DC Comics, Bendis' Batman, and comic book stores are pissed. What do you love most about DC Comics? Everybody could name a bunch of things, but if I was naming like 10, 100-page giants on there somewhere, gotta love these things. DC's known for putting them out, and this is part of the problem. We got these things exclusive to Walmart, and Bendis writing an exclusive Batman, Jurgens, and Snyder all giving exclusive material to Walmart only. I got an article here, but before I get to that article, maybe I should show y'all some pissed off people inside of a comic book shop, so you don't call me clickbait, nothing like that, right? All right, Glenn, take it away.
I've ever read. Right. I am off the Scott Snyder bandwagon. People worship the guy like he's the greatest coming of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. I think he's gone downhill for a long time. Someone's going to have to come in and tell me that Batman and the Signal is really good for me to pick it up and read it now. If he puts out another Severed book, I'll try it. Yeah. But his superhero stuff is just...
I wish he would kind of move toward like maybe Image or something else and do some of his like his independent stuff. Like, but what he's doing with these characters is just I just don't care.
There's a few people who will say, "Oh man, this book was good. It doesn't really matter because they think everything by Scott Snyder is just good anyway." So I can't use them as a barometer. Yeah. You know,
there are writers that I'm like that with, that I'm like, no matter what they put out, I will read it. Like Brian K. Vaughan or like Mark Millar, but like...
Well, Scott Snyder was one of those guys for me too.
He what? Yeah. Scott Snyder was one of those guys?
I used to read anything that he would do, anything he would write. His detective before they did the New 52.
Dope.
That Severed book was fantastic.
Severed was really
I liked part of his New 52 Batman, but then I got sick of it.
Yeah. Did he do The Wake? I loved it for like the first half.
Yeah. Did he do Witches?
Yeah, he did Witches.
I don't like that either. I think a lot had to do with how they ruined his artwork with those color splotches they threw.
Kind of annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Like I get that once in a while for not every freaking panel, every freaking page.
I like some of his stuff, but I won't buy a book just because. If this was an independent book, I probably would.
Yeah.
I'd probably be like, I'll buy this with Scott Snyder's name on it. But with one of these, I didn't really care for any of the New 52 stuff that he did. So I was just like, all right, well,
whichever the first six issues was of that, I didn't like it all. Almost dropped it. But the second part of the Owl storyline that was like 7 through 12, I thought was really good.
And I didn't pick it up because I heard such bad things about the first part of it.
Yeah.
I actually got better
at
it.
I thought the second part was really decent. I thought that whole year 0, whatever it was.
Zero year?
Yeah. If you could
terrible.
read all Riddler parts, it was great. Yeah. But every other issue was good. The other issue stuff
was hard to follow too. Like, I was just like, where are we right now? What?
No, that's when they did that Joker Justice League. Everyone had the smiley. That's when I just closed the book and said, "You've been fired. You're terminated." Silver Sable was awesome. Really? I can't believe it. I picked it up. I liked the old Silver Sable book at one time. Yeah. It was like reading this. I was in this, believe it or not, was actually good. Darkhawk. Yeah. Really? Remember the old the good Guardians of the Galaxy that Abnett and Lanning and them were doing? Well, Darkhawk had a thing that was going on in there too. Before Bendis ruined the Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, yeah. I don't want to trash on Bendis because the guy's almost dead. He was in the hospital full of MRSA.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'll give the guy a little space.
No, but that just happened. The crap that he was writing before that, he was still I'm at full speed. But yeah, over the last couple of months, he's actually almost died twice, and he's been in the hospital twice with MRSA. But
why? Because his writing is that bad. That's why.
These guys write Scott Snyder's Batman, all downhill after Owls, especially with that was a Death of the Family. Had a good first issue, and then how about that payoff, huh? Just nothing. Death of what? Death of nothing. Anything that was supposed to happen there was forgotten within probably 4, 5, 6 weeks. But this is Comic Book Palace, one of the funnier shows on YouTube. I've pulled other stuff from there. They get, they take all types there at this Comic Book Palace. including everybody's favorite SJWs. I got a video here. All right, where is it? Right here. I pulled some stuff from their YouTube show for this video right here with this guy. Oh my God. You want to watch something funny? All right. Right there, I'm telling you. I better give myself a thumbs up on that one. Was stuck in the St. Mary's Orthodox Cathedral Cemetery that night. But we better get back to that article. Walmart and 100-page giants. Bendis exclusives. To Walmart only, that is. Bendis' Batman. Let's see here. And I think Snyder's got something. Jurgens got something. And it's all only for Walmart. So that's why these comic book stars are so pissed off. Starting July 1st, DC Comics has recently made an agreement with Walmart to produce a line of $5 monthly comics featuring all the flagships. Starting July 1st. The books will be 100 pages long. Classic DC tradition. Cheap price, too. You know, disenfranchised readers need comics, too, right? A typical DC comic features 22 pages of story and 10 pages of ads. Sells for $4. A lot of them sell for $2.99. The primary place to buy new comics is in the comic shop. It's expected that the comic shop owners won't be happy. No, they're not happy. And I couldn't find anybody complaining about it, but I did find people complaining. So you got to give me a little credit there. They won't be happy about the arrangement with Walmart. New stories for the 100-page books will be produced by everybody's favorite Tom King. It's another guy whose Batman has went nosedive downhill after the first volume. Bendis, who's on Superman, Jimmy Palmiotti, and Dan Jurgens. Oh, I thought Snyder was doing something special. I guess not. Anyways, each of the 4 new titles, Superman Giant, Justice League Giant, Batman Giant, Teen Titans Giant, are going to be there July 1st. So make sure you're picking up your groceries right around then. These things might sell out quickly. We are extraordinarily excited about working with Walmart to expand our reach of books to new audiences, obviously. Dan Didio, he's the big head honcho at DC. Did a good OMAC New 52 with Scott Koblish, Giffen, and maybe Norm Ratman. That was a fun book. $2.99 OMAC in Jack Kirby tradition. Anyways, the new monthly books combine new and accessible stories with reprints like all the 100-page giants usually have. It's a great way for new readers to get into comics and follow the characters they've grown to love from TV and the movies. Makes sense to me. Here we go. Superman Giant #1. A new endurance story by Jimmy Palmiotti with art by Tom Derenick. Derenick, is that how you say it? Derenick. I think he did something on Steel. He might have did Steel #4. I'm not sure. I think he did some Spectre in the past. The Daily Planet sends Clark Kent to Tornado Alley to do a story on the area, but when the storm hits, it turns out this mild-mannered reporter is more helpful as Superman. The Terrifics, and of course Superman Batman. You got to put them, and that's one of DC's best series of all time. If you don't like Ed McGuinness, too bad for you. 7 has some incredible stories in it. Some really good comics. I want to say 60. Maybe it's 72. I don't know. There's an Ed Bendis comic that Joe Kelly wrote. That's just incredible. It's one of the better Superman, Batman, self-contained books. Bendis art, Joe Kelly wrote it. Okay, Teen Titans Giants, another one they're doing. That stuff I'd never pick up. The first chapter of a 6-part Teen Titans story by Jurgens. He never writes Teen Titans. Scott Eaton's doing the art. The Teen Titans are attacked by a new villain called the Disruptor. It's kind of lackluster. Additional reprint stories include Super Sons, Sideways. See, I don't read none of that. I read some of Super Sons, and the best part of Super Sons was the prologue you can find in Superman Rebirth number 10 and 11. You want to read some good Super Sons? Get Superman 10 and 11. It's actually the first appearance of the new Super Sons as well. You'll never forget the credit page in there. World's Smallest. Gleason just kills it. One of the better Rebirth books. The Batman Giant. And then see right there, beginning with Batman Giant number 3 in September, superstar writer Bendis makes his DC debut on Batman with a 12-part story universe. Batman's run-in with the Riddler leads the Caped Crusader into a mystery that spans the globe. Bendis on Batman, there it is. But it's not going to be in the first issue. It starts in the third issue. What else we got here? Justice League of America Giant, even though they got a Teen Titans picture next to it. Why they would use that old cover from, I don't know what, about 15 years ago? That's like John's Volume 1, huh? Wonder Woman faces off against Ares. Big surprise there. The Conversion, an original story by Tim Seeley with art by Rick Leonardi and Steve Buccellato. They're going to reprint story star Justice League, The Flash, and Aquaman. Since the news release was embargoed, it was not possible to seek comment from a local comic shop owners that make a living selling different versions of the books starring the same characters. That's weird. Nobody knew that one. The news release did not address the possibility of new books glutting an already stuffed comic market or the impact it might have on comic book shops. But you know comic book shops are pissed. And with all this being said, I'm such a fan of the DC anthology, 100-page giant, 80-page giant, I quickly put together a little top 5. Here we go. DC Super Spectacular number 4, Weird Mystery Tales. Which is even weirder about the book is there is no 1 or number 2 issue. I kid you not, look it up in the Overstreet. But look at that cover. Bernie Wrightson at his finest. This has got like 7 eerie supernatural stories featuring DC's Justice League Dark-esque kind of characters. This is back when House of Mystery in the late Bronze Age was killing it with the horror titles. And in this book is featured first appearance of the Phantom Stranger. And that right there on the left is the Golden Age, I believe, first appearance of the Phantom Stranger. I believe it's classified as a Golden Age comic. I might be wrong. Maybe it's Atom Age. Most people think it's the one on the right, and that's really a Silver Age first appearance, maybe. Or maybe that's in Brave and the Bold. Either way, the one on the left is the real first appearance of who Alan Moore classified in his Secret Files or Secret Origins one-shot as the Phantom Stranger, the Wandering Jew, one of DC's better characters. Dan Ditto actually wrote him, too, while I'm on the subject during New 52. It wasn't bad. But if this ain't on your top 5 list, something's a problem. And that goes same for Batman 80-page Giant. These things used to come out every year in one form or another, whether it's the 80-page Giants you see at the bottom or some 100-page Giants you see placed all over. They reprint all the classic villain stories. You can find these for $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, and back issue bins are usually beat up, but they're worth their value in reading material. And then the new ones, man, you find some classic short stories in these. And I don't know which one it is there on the bottom of the newer ones, but there's a really, really good Joker story in one of these. I'm talking a top 5 Joker short story. But, you know, what kind of DC fan would I be if the Batman 80-page Giant, 100-page Giant anthologies weren't on my top 5 list, right? Same goes for the super villains of the DC universe. Who's better than these guys? Definitely ain't Marvel's. Marvel ain't got no damn villains, and you know it. See this one at the middle and the top, the Giant Superman Annual? I think that was either the second or the third anthology, 100-page, double-size, etc., Giant DC ever put out. And it's the first all-villain Superman issue. Reprints Brainiacs, Action 242 maybe, Superboy 68, first Bizarro, 129, first Titano, and all these other ones. A lot of good stuff here. Because, you know, the heroes wouldn't be super if the villains weren't super. Wanted, a totally underrated series where you get all these strange villains, secret origins, and first appearances. Because the first appearance isn't always the origin. Keep that in mind for all you noobs. And over here on the left, the hard to find, or it was for me, Secret Origins of Super Villains 80-page Giant. Not that it's expensive, it's just hard to find. It's the only modern origin for Sinestro up until the more recent Sinestro #1, where they did a lot better job. But still, it was nice to find this book. You know how long I looked for a modern origin to Sinestro? And it was in this book right there on your left. Like I said, I got rushed on this one. This definitely isn't number 2. And I don't even know if it's a top 5, but I just strung together a quick list. I'd probably have to push all those up, bring this one down to 5. But Brightest Day, what's better than Blackest Night? Brightest Day. Nobody's seen it coming. The return of Professor Zoom, Hawk and Dove, freaking Aquaman, drawn by Rice and, echoed over into Aqua War later on in Brightest Day. And then, you get the whole New 52, Awesome John's Aquaman story. Was it like 15, 16 comics? Either way, these 100-page DC Comics Presents anthologies just kind of set the background for all the characters that came back in Brightest Day, like Deadman and Hawkman, Firestorm. I already mentioned a couple. And all in all, this was a super fun thing to do. You get these 3 books, you read Brightest Day after Blackest Night. A lot of fun, man. You learn a lot, too. But like I said, it probably would get pushed down. I was rushed making the list. And without further ado, there it is. Hands down, number 1 greatest 80-page giant anthology DC ever did. DC Vertigo, Strange Adventures. There was a time here when Vertigo was digging up the old mystery science fiction twisted titles of DC like Mysteries in Space, Tales of the Unexpected, and doing modern short stories for them. This is not to be missed. I could talk about this book all day. I should almost do a video for it and show you the comic. There's such a range here. Dark, twisted sci-fi. If you don't like this, you don't like comics. And with all that being said, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Fivefold Understanding YouTube channel. This is where you get the truth. Cool videos like this. And if you got some extra money, throw me $1 or $2 at the PayPal. That would always be nice. But just make sure you subscribe here. And with that being said, pick up these comics. Like we always say here, the saga continues.